You tell me the answer to the Dom. Jensen. Attaboy. 24. Are there any questions about where he got 24? There are no? No questions? Yep. Not different numbers. That problem is on the test. I'm glad you think so. All right. Next problem. I know. I'm freezing in between every problem so I can copy paste it straight from the midterm and then change one little piece of it. All right. There will be this picture, and it'll say something like, name 3 points that are coplanar, for instance. Or it might say all on the same line, or it might say that are all on plane J or something. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Please. HGJ, HGI, GJI, I mean. All of those would work. Again, it might say coplanar. It might say 3 points that are skew. So that'd be like F, G, and J are not all like on the same line. It might say 3 points that are collinear. That could be like H, G, and I. But the image in the first part of the question will look just like that. Questions about what this question could possibly be asking you tomorrow. Let's see. It might say name 2 like skew points, or no. 2 skew, no. It might say what are some perpendicular or some intersecting lines. It'd be line FG and GI. It might say collinear, so it'd be like HGI. It might say coplanar. I mean, it could say any of those words, but it'll start like that. All you need to know is those pieces of vocab. This one, I believe somebody gave me the answer. Did you say HGI? HGI, also HGJ. I mean, there's so many different answers that would work for this. GJI, etc. For this one, it has to be on this plane. Notice F is not in any of those, or excuse me, B, because it is not in that plane. See that? Questions? Right, yes. All right then, let me pull up the next one. Next one will look something like this. And it'll say something like, if one of the angles is like 3x plus 2 degrees, this will all be given in the problem. And another one is like 7x minus 7 degrees. It might say, if the whole angle equals, I don't know, 80 degrees, then solve for angle, I'm making this up, MPQ. That might be what the question basically says. It'll give you everything that I've given you and then say solve for one of the 2 smaller angles. So, Stacy, any clues about how we're going to solve this? Very good. Angle addition postulate. MPN is the whole angle. So you need to add this piece and this piece and set it equal to 80. That's perfect. Or whatever it gives you. So that's 10x minus 5 equals 80. Add the 5. Divide by 10. Now, are we done? No. Why aren't we done? Because it wanted angle MPQ, which is which one? The top or the bottom one? So we need to plug 8.5 into here. So 3 times 8.5 plus 2. Punch that in your calculator and tell me what you get. 3 times 8.5, then plus 2. 27. Is that 3 times 8.5 or the whole thing? Excellent. And there you go. Angle addition. If it gives you two pieces, add them to the whole sum. Did you hit one of my light switches? Just one of them. Thank you. Yeah, we plugged the 8.5 in for MPQ right there. Thank you. Questions over this problem? No? All right then. Let's see. I'll just pull out the directions for the next one. The next one will look something like this. What is the midpoint of AB? And it'll give you A and B. For instance, -2 and -6 and 6, comma, -4. Who knows the midpoint formula? I hear close. You guys are all telling me correct formulas, but they're not for this problem. That was slope. I'm not sure what that one was. There you go. Very good. Yes, ma'am. Oh. It's two coordinates. Knock it off. Average of the x's and the average of the y's. So, Cameron, what are my two x values in this problem? Nope. My two x values. -2 and 6. And Elijah, what are my two y values in this problem? Very good. So that's all you have to do. -2 plus 6 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. -6 plus -4 is what? -10. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what you said. -10. You can punch these in the calculator too. Just -6 plus -4 divided by 2. -10 divided by 2 would be -5. Midpoint. You want to write down somewhere in your notes. Midpoint is this formula. Questions over this problem? Yes, sir. Because the formula, good question. The formula is a plus sign. Now, are you thinking that we use this 6? Because we didn't. We used this one. It's the two x values. So x value, and then y value, y value. All right? And it's a plus sign. Now this one, see, we still use plus, Elon. Even though the 4 was negative, we still used the plus just to keep it straight. So it's -6 plus -4. And again, you can punch these straight into the calculator whenever you have to add or subtract a negative number. So bear that in mind. Any other questions? That was a good question. All right, next question will look like this. And again, it'll provide you coordinates. What is the length of AB? And again, it'll give you coordinates like, I'm trying to think, -3, 7, and 2, comma, -5. And we have to find the length, which is the distance formula. What is the distance formula? No, I'm waiting for Malik. We're going to need the distance formula, which is what? Yes, sir. Yes. Squared. Very good. Very, very good. Now all you have to do is plug in the coordinates. So, Clay, what are my x values? Very good. Starla, what are my y values? Very good. So, -3 minus 2, somebody in your calculator? -3 minus 2. -5. And 7 minus -5? 12. Now, I want everyone to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Someone punch in -5 squared into your calculator. It'll tell you it's -25. But we know that a negative times a negative should be what? It'll tell you it's negative because it does the order of operations. It's going to do, 5 squared, then put on the negative. You have to use some logic tomorrow as you're punching this in the calculator. That's positive 25. And if you want to make sure your calculator gives you the right answer, if you ever have a negative number, put it in parentheses before you square it. Then it will give you positive 25. So anyway, 25 plus 144 is what, 169? And what's the square root of 169? 13. Now, so that's our answer. You might also have an ugly radical, in which case it'll probably just stay that way. But distance formula is what you'll use for the length of a segment. Questions? Anybody? Okay. Freeze. Next question. We're making pretty good progress here. We already did that one and that one. Here we go. Uno momento, por favoro. He's working on a separate assignment because it was all oral and I didn't have time to translate everything, so he's working on something else. Okay. If the measure of RST is, and let's say it's 160 degrees, find the measure of QST. And once again, now this is very much like the last one we did. We're going to put in our own measurements. Let's call this 7x plus 18. And let's call this 3x plus 30. Yasmin, how are we going to set this up? When you say set them equal, what do I have to do with them? With addition, right? Very good. Angle addition. 7x plus 18 plus 3x plus 30 equals 160. So that's 10x plus 48 equals 160. Now, I apologize for all the decimals we're getting, but I made these up. So how do I solve from there, Sage? Very good. Is that 112? Divide by 10, it's 11.2. Are we done? No. What do I have to do? For which one? QST. Very good. 3x plus 30. So that's 3 times 11.2 plus 30. So that's, somebody punch it in for me. Very nice. 63.6 degrees would be your final answer. These are the exact instructions from tomorrow's test. So if you understand what it is we're trying to do, you should be money in the bank tomorrow. The key is to be able to read the directions and know what you're supposed to do. In fact, here's what we're going to start doing. I'm going to start putting the directions on the board and try to not have the problem, and you'll tell me what the problem should look like. Like, well, judging by those directions, it's probably going to be giving us, like this one, 2 angles. So we're going to start doing that. Any questions on this one before we move on? No problem. Pause. Ooh, this could be fun. Unpause. Next question. Which of the following is a convex polygon? Trip, what's that problem going to look like? That's very good. It's going to show a bunch of polygons. So like, let's see. It might show like a star. I'm not very good at drawing, so whatever. It might show a rectangle. It might show a circle. And it might show an arrow of sorts. Now, which one of these is convex? Who even remembers what that means? Donovan? That's right. So which one would this be? No. Why wouldn't it be the circle? I hear so many things. I think Trip said it. It's not a polygon. Polygons are nothing but straight edges. Now, Donovan was exactly right. Convex means if you were to continue drawing a side, it wouldn't go inside the polygon. Well, you can see that these two, if you were to continue drawing the sides, would go inside. That's why they are concave, not convex. So this would be the convex polygon of this group. Concave and convex. And remember, anything with a curved edge is not a polygon at all. So it's the trick. What's that? That's right. One curved edge throws off everything. Any questions on that problem? We ready for the next one? All right. If angles 1 and 2 are complementary, what are the measures of the angles? Who thinks they know what this one's going to look like? Let me try to see if I can. If 1 and 2 are complementary, what are the measures of the angles? I will call on you in just a second. But first, I'm guessing so many people don't know because they don't know the vocab. Madison, what does complementary mean? That's right. It means that two angles add 290. So, think about what it's saying. Angles 1 and 2 are complementary. Where are angles 1 and 2? What do you think it's going to have to provide for me? Well, I mean, maybe. It has to provide for me angles 1 and 2. It's going to give you two angles. And what are you supposed to do with those angles, Madison? You just said it a second ago. Set them to just 90. Yeah. Set them equal to 90. Very good. So here's what the rest of this problem is going to look like. Angle 1 equals 2x plus 17. And angle 2 equals 2x plus 33. And these two angles do what with each other, Elijah? What did she say we were supposed to do? Very good. So many people tomorrow, and it's going to kill me when I see it, are just going to set these two things equal to each other. Don't do that. The key word is complementary, which means they add to 90. 2x plus 17 plus 2x plus 33 equals 90. So that's 4x plus 50 equals 90. And someone finish solving that for me. X equals, I'm sorry? Very good. Very good. Are we done? Because it asks for the measures of the angles. So what do I have to do with that 10? Plug it in. 2 times 10 plus 17. 37. 2 times 10 plus 33. 53. Very good. Solve for x, and then plug it in. Almost, I'm not saying none, but almost no problems tomorrow will you actually just be able to stop with the x. You have to then plug it in. Questions? I like this game. You tell me what the problem's going to look like. Alrighty. Ooh, this one's a good one. By the way, has no one noticed that on the last two tests I've had Fluffle drops as an answer? Not a single person has mentioned it to me. You marked it? You answered? Fluffle drops. I've made that an answer on the last two tests, and no one's mentioned it. So I got into a conversation with another teacher yesterday. They said, "What's Fluffle drops?" And then another teacher said, "You know, it's what Fluffles leave behind." That was Coach K's joke. Okay, here we go. Here we go. In the diagram, ray BD bisects angle ABC. Find the measure of those two angles. What is this going? Yes, sir. Close. Madison. Like this? Oh, wow, that's not in the middle at all, is it? Like this? Oh, no, I wish I... Now, Elijah, what is the key word in the directions? What does that mean? Close. That's dissect. What does bisect mean specifically? Actually, we're going to stick with you. Go through, but what specifically does it do to something when it goes through it? That's true. Caitlin, what does it do when it goes through it, when it bisects it? Cuts it in half. And if something's been cut in half, what do we know about the pieces? They are equal. That is the key to the problem. When you might want to put a star on your paper or something. When you see the word bisect, that means set them equal. So then on this one, it'll say like, I don't know, 3x plus 17. And this one will be like, now I won't give you these loops, but I don't know, 5x minus 11. Something like that. So, what do I do, Cameron, now? Set them equal. Bisect, set them equal. Okay. Clay, what do I do from here? Yeah, after you set them equal. We have to solve for x. What's my first step to doing that? Well, you can't just add them because they're separated by an equal sign. But, Rebecca, how can we go about solving this? Instead of adding it, what do we have to do to solve for x? Subtract 3x from both sides. It gives you 17 equals 2x minus 11. Perfect. Gives you 28 equals 2x. Divide by 2. Are we done? No, it wants the actual angle. So judging by what it gave us here, this was A, this was B, this was C, and this was D. So ABD is which angle? The top one. Very good. 3 times 14 plus 17. Somebody plug that in. What is 3 times 14 plus 17? 59. Do I even need to plug it into the other one? No. Why not, Trip? That's right. We just set them bloody equal. They are bloody equal, so therefore the other. Now I realize my drawing isn't to scale because that's an acute angle, but there you go. If you want, because they're bisected, we know they're equal. That was the whole point. So once you have solved one, you've actually solved for both. I only plugged it into one of them. We plugged it into 3x. Oh, somebody did. Somebody said it out loud. What'd you say? Well, you have to plug it in for one of them to find out what it is. It doesn't. No, I see what you're saying. It doesn't matter which one. No. No, it doesn't. I mean, some people will forget that they're equal and solve and put it in for both, but then they'll get the same thing. So it doesn't hurt you to plug it in for both. You'll just be redundant. Questions? They both do, yes, ma'am. All right. Well, you wouldn't set it equal to 59. You'd plug 14 in for x and find that it was 59. Okay, well, I was just making sure. Questions? All right. This is exactly this question. I'm not even going to change it. The only thing I'm not going to show you is the answers. Which statement about the figure is true? I'm going to give you some example false statements. Actually, better idea. I'll just give you some statements. You tell me whether it's true or false. Ready? Statement. E bisects line AB. What does bisect mean? Is there any evidence on the board that says that those are exactly equal? So you can assume it. So, false. Another one would be angle AED and angle CEA are vertical angles. True or false? What would those be? Oh, so darn proud. Those would be a linear pair. Another example, AED and angle CEB are a linear pair. What would those be? Vertical angles. Let me try to think of another one that would actually, let's see. Okay, how about this? Ray EC and ray ED are opposite rays. That would be a true statement. I don't know if that's the one that'll give you tomorrow. I doubt it since I just made it up. Ray EC and ray ED are opposite rays. They start at the same point and go in exactly opposite directions. So that would be an example of a true statement. Question? Fantastic. All right. Moving on. Moving on up. Moving on up. This one would be kind of hard. The directions don't give you quite enough, so I'm just going to draw it. All right, here's one. I've cut off part of this problem. You tell me what part I cut off. Read the directions, look at the picture. What does it have to... What's that? That's right. Give me just a random angle that could fit right there, Elon. 50. Okay. If this was 50, then Elon, how would we solve for angle 1? Almost. Actually, that's really darn close. 50 plus 90. But we're solving for something, so don't we need an x in there? There you go. That's right. Or, that's one thing you could do, or you could just do 50 plus whatever you want to use for this equals 90, because we know that piece is 90, because that's 90. Either one of those would work. And then you just subtract a whole bunch and find the measure of the missing angle. That's exactly right. They're going to give you an angle, and you know that all three have to add to 180, and more specifically that those two have to add to 90. Angle addition. Yeah, you can just do that. Yes, you could. Good idea. Questions? Any questions about that problem? The next one, there's no way with the information you're given we could possibly get that. So I'm not doubting you. It's just they don't give you enough information. So I'm just going to have to draw it. Here's the next one. It'll give you something like this. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it might say this is S, this is T. How do we find the length of ST? Well, you could just count, or, yeah, you could just subtract. That's exactly right. You could just subtract. Now, if you're going to subtract, it doesn't really matter which order you do it in. Just remember it has to be positive. So, like, Malik said 5 minus the number, which is -3. What's 5 minus -3? 8. Very good. Or, like Beck said, you can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Counting is the hardest way. Very good. That's the ruler postulate from way back in the day. Questions? Yeah, the ruler postulate said if you have two measurements on a ruler, the distance between them is just the difference of the two numbers. Like, if you're measuring something and you said it was between 3 inches and 11 inches, that would be 8 inches, because it's the difference. Anyway, any questions on that? No, we're not even half done. Do you not want to do the whole midterm?
No, I do.
Okay, then. No, I'm only doing one of each. Every problem on here I'm putting up here in some form or fashion. Okay, here we go. Blah, blah. Here we go. Angle LMN and angle NMO form a linear pair. Find the measures of the angles. What does it have to provide me here? And I'm guessing these are going to be your two linear pair angles. Okay. Now, it says find the measure of the angles. I doubt it's going to be so nice as to just give you a number. What do you think it's going to give you if all the other past questions have been an indication? Malik, what do you think this problem is going to give you? What do you think this problem is going to give me to work with? Well, I've already drawn that. We're finding the measures of the angles, so what do they probably have to give you? Yeah, for the actual angles. So it'll be like, hey, this guy is x minus 7. This guy is 3x plus 10. Make that a 13. So what do these add up to, Elon? Nobody else say. Very good. Linear pair add up to 180. So what do I do with this problem, Jensen? Cameron? Add them what? That's right. But what do I set them equal to when I add? Give you a hint, Elon just said it. There you go. Very good. 3x plus 13 plus x minus 7 equals 180. Then it said find the measure of the angle, so we'll just have to take that x and plug it in. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll just set them all up, okay? The math on pretty much every one of these problems is the same. You're just adding some x's, you're solving for x, and then you're plugging it in. We'll set them up, and I'll trust that you can finish them. And after we set them up, if you want to take them home and work them out and come in and ask questions in the morning, you'll be more than welcome to. We'll set them up. Are there questions about the setup of the problem or what you're going to have to do when you're done with it?
No, sir.
Solve the x, plug it in. That is the answer to all of geometry. We're not going to solve. We're just going to set them all up. Ooh, this is a good one. I like this one. Yeah. Yes. All right. I'm going to put a picture on the board, and you tell me what question could possibly accompany it. Did anybody have a question on that before we move on? You'll combine the x's, combine the numbers, and then solve for x. and then plug it in. All right. Picture. What are some possible questions it might be asking me? Nope, one of these. Madison. What's that? Ooh, a whole plane. I like it. She said, what plane, or she said, what is parallel, but essentially that would mean, what plane is parallel to EGHF? Which plane is parallel to EGHF? Very right. The top and the bottom are parallel. Excellent. What's another one it could ask?
What line is perpendicular to GY?
There you go. What line is perpendicular to GY? And it turns out that could be several answers. So it'd probably be like going through point Y. That'd be YZ or WY. Very good. Yes, sir. What line? Ooh, nice. Skew to GH. What is a line skewed to line GH? EW would be one, or FX. Very good. Let's see. It might also say, where do lines EF and XF intersect? Where do lines EF and XF intersect each other? At F. Yeah, you'll be able to tell because they'll share the common letter. It might also say, where do two planes intersect? Where does plane GEWY intersect plane WXZ? Where does plane EGWY intersect plane WYZ? Two planes intersect along a line. Just like the wall, where does the wall meet the ceiling? Along that whole crease. So like if it asked you where this plane intersected this plane, it would be line WY. Where does this plane meet that plane? Line HF, etc. It might also ask name a plane perpendicular to HFXZ. What's the perpendicular plane to that one? HFXZ. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a pencil something?
No.
Oh.
No.
I can go I need to do this.
No.
What? All right. What? Very good. All right, moving on. Could ask you all of those things. Stay focused. I don't have to get on people. All right. Wasting time. Name a pair of vertical angles in the figure shown. What's this problem going to look like? Caitlin, what's this going to look like? Guys, put your hands down. I see. What's this problem going to look like? At minimum, right. It could have two lines intersecting, and then it might just randomly put some other line in here just to throw you off. So, let me label all these. We'll call this, the middle point will be point A, B, C, D, E, F. Where are some vertical angles in this picture? There's only actually one pair of vertical angles in this picture. Vertical angles. What about it, Rachel? Where are some vertical angles? Perfect. BAF and CA. They're the ones that are perfectly opposite with nothing right in between them. She said BAF and CAD. What's that? Questions? All right, moving on. Ooh, here's one. What's this problem going to look like? Two lines with arrows on them, making them very good. That'll be your arrow for that one. Guys, you want to keep sitting there, be quiet. Very good. What value of x makes these parallel? It's going to have to give you some kind of transversal, and then it's going to give you some kind of angle pair. And you have to know if they need to be supplementary or congruent. So let's just do an example. What if it gave you, and this one, now, just answer me this. In this picture, Sage, do these need to be congruent or supplementary? That's right. That's right. They'll either need to be set equal or added to 180. If they look the same, then they are the same. If they look different, then they will be added to 180. Do these two angles look like the same measure? So you set them equal. What if it had given us this one and this one? What would we do then? Add them to 180. If they look different, you add them to 180. If they look the same, you set them equal. Questions? Here's the beauty of these. If it tells you they're parallel, you don't even have to look up all your angle stuff notes. Just look at the bloody problem. If they look the same, I don't care where they are, then they are the same. If they look different, then you add to 180. Okay. Next problem. We've already done one like that. Tell you what, if I see one that's a lot like one we've already done, I'm going to skip it. We just did one like that just a second ago. Yeah, it's parallel lines and two angles, and you have to figure out one on this. I'm not going to put the next question on the board. We're just going to discuss it. Elijah, what are perpendicular lines? You want to phone a friend? You're going to phone Elon. Elon, what are perpendicular lines? No. Perpendicular. You want to phone a friend? All right. Ariana, what are perpendicular lines? Perpendicular. The vocab is going to be killer tomorrow. And if you've already passed this to someone else, you need to be paying attention, because if you can't answer this, you're going to be up a chocolate creek without a popsicle stick tomorrow. That's a euphemism. A euphemism, which means something that sounds pleasant but represents something that's not pleasant. Perpendicular lines are what? Their slopes do. Perpendicular line. Hey. Sure. Uno momento, people.